Well, hello, loves, and happy Sunday to you. Look at this. Oh, this makes me happy. So, here are the supplies that I used today and the stencils, most of them, with the exception of one, all new in the shop. So, I'm starting out today with a 12 by 12 MDF board, and I'm putting some vintage papers down with my Deco Art matte medium, and I am leaving some space in between the papers because I know that I'm going to be covering this with gesso, super heavy gesso. But what I want to say is that I do cover the entire piece with matte medium, and what that's doing is that's serving like a gesso or sealer. It primes that wood and gets it ready for the next layer and gives it the same surface all the way across, so that I don't have some absorbent and non-absorbent areas when I'm putting down my super heavy gesso. Now, I don't typically use super heavy gesso, say that 5 times, but I just did a live demonstration on gesso in the Facebook group. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out in the Creative Souls Facebook page. But so it was on my desk, so I just grabbed it, and I'm so glad I did because the texture is phenomenal. I just love it. So you can see that I am leaving space for the papers that I did put down because I want them to show through and be part of the composition. So while that dries, I am playing with the new butterfly stencil that I'm just so happy with, so happy with. So the stencil is a stencil and a mask. So I'm using the stencil part as my background, and I'm using library green and teal in archival inks, and I'm mixing those two to just get some variation. The color is outstanding. I just could not be happier with the color and how this whole butterfly turned out. So there is my base layer, and look at how pretty that color is. So now I'm going to grab one of the masks that goes with that butterfly. And these are so detailed, you guys. I'm just so pleased with how they turned out. And so I'm covering the mask with just regular carbon black craft paint, and I'm going to use it like a stamp. And you're going to see it makes the angels sing. It looks vintagey and printed and like an old vintage type plate that you would see. Oh my gosh, just look at the detail on the napkin. Once I started doing this, I turned off the camera and played for a while. Oh my gosh. It was just I just love the detail and what you can do with the stencil. So I'm just super excited about it. It's just so beautiful. So I'm going back over it again because there was a couple spots that did not show up very well. And so I just went back over it again with just a tiny bit more paint. And so I thought about using some tissue paper too in this piece. It didn't end up in the piece, but I left it in the video because it just turned out so pretty that I'll be using it. Look at that. It just makes me happy. So I'll be using that in another project. So now that the gesso is dry, I have used some raw umber fluid acrylic by Deco Art and some Americana glazing medium, and I'm going super heavy with this glaze because I want it to be extra grungy, and all that texture that heavy gesso has left behind is just fantastic. I knew that I was going to be using the gears and the keys stencil, so that was kind of rustic steampunkish, so I really wanted it to be grungy, so I just went heavy on the glaze here. All of the supplies are going to be listed on the blog, and the description to the blog, or the link to the blog, is down below in the YouTube description box. All the links to the new stencils, there's 20 new stencils that are coming out. They'll also be in that link. So here's the clock stencil, the new clock stencil, and I'm using my archival ink in black. And I wrestled with, should I use paint or should I use the ink? And so I thought, well, if I didn't like it, I would just go back over it. but it was just fantastic on this because I could really get in all the crevices with my makeup brush and the ink, so it worked out perfectly. So I'm just using the gears stencil to just create a vignette around the piece, create some interest and some story. And I went really light on this one gear that I'm doing so that that brown would show through, and it looked all rusty. Oh, it was just heaven, absolute heaven. So I grabbed this keys stencil, and now I'm just adding to my wonderful little design vignette that I've put together here with all of those stencils. And the archival ink just performed beautifully on this, all the texture. So now I'm trying something new. So I don't remember where I saw these, but it looked so rich and thick and creamy, and I thought, oh, some texture, or what could I do with this? These were really fantastic. I didn't like the jars that they came in, but the product itself was lovely because it's super matte, super thick and chalky, and it dries really fast, which is perfect for me. So I can't wait to use these through stencils because it's going to give some great dimension. But oh my goodness, this is sage, and I used a vintage lace, and I'll be getting some more colors because I love it. I love it. And you can spread it out and get this really chalky kind of smoky halo kind of effect with the paint, or use it with a palette knife, and that's what I did here to just get even more texture and yummy grungy goodness. But it dries so fast. And this is chalk paste by Prima. So now I'm just putting my butterfly down with some matte medium. And now I begin the long process of shading, because I shaded absolutely everything, all of the details, just to really give it some depth and to bring it out from the background, because there's a lot going on in the background, and I really wanted it to kind of feel moody and grungy and just kind of just really have some depth to it. So I just shaded absolutely everything. So I won't show you all of the shading, but I did go around everything, the butterfly, all of that. So now that I've got everything shaded, I am putting down my quote, and I share about this in the at the end, and so I am just putting that down, and then I'm going to use my grunge font stencil to put the word down. So that's about it. Super simple. I'll shade around the edges with my black soft pastel. Super simple, but very dramatic. I just love it when that happens. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, subscribe so that you never miss a Sunday inspiration. And you can check out the website for all of the supplies and details and all the new stencils. Stick around for the conversation at the end. It's so important about what we need to let go of in order to fly, and that today is the day to do that. So stick around for that, and I will see you next Sunday. Hello, loves. Happy Sunday to you. This is just like heaven. The grungy goodness in this is just beyond. It's just fantastic. Oh my gosh. So many things that I love about this piece. So I went over everything in the video, but I tried these out today for the first time. These are by Prima. They're redesigned by Prima, and they're the chalk paste, and I have only 3 colors because I wasn't sure, but I will definitely be using these again. Super thick, like unbelievably thick. And it dries to this like really chalky finish, and it dries really fast, which I love. So I used the antique sage and vintage lace today, and the vintage lace has just a tiny, it's not super white, so it's like perfect against gesso and different things like that. But oh my, I love that, and this would work beautifully through stencils. So I can't wait to try that out. So before we jump in, new stencil release. When you see this video, the new stencils will be out, and oh my gosh, I'm so my techniques and my skills as a stencil designer just continue to grow, and I just love being able to do some of the detailed stuff. But I did the butterfly stencils that I used in here. Oh my gosh, they are fantastic. So it is a stencil and a mask that you get, but it is unbelievable. I mean, just what I did. So when I painted on it and put it down, you can use these like as a stamp. So let me grab, where is it? So you get this so that you can do the outline of it. Then you could put it back in and stencil it, or use it like I used to. I mean, tons of options for these. And oh my gosh, I used vintage butterfly pictures and got traced the design from those. So happy about how it turned out. And I even did that on tissue paper. Can you imagine using that on a piece? And then even my paper towel, when I was cleaning it, I was like, oh, I'm going to use that too. So, so many. I'm super excited about all of the stencils coming out to you when you see this video. I used, let me just see. I'm so excited about them. I'm like out of breath. So this is the clock that I used today. And then let me just kind of quickly run through. So these are the gears, the keys, and then of course I used the butterflies today. And then I used my grungy font stencil for the letters. But this is one I used last week. There is bouquet of flowers, some more fun in the sun, birds and boats, more flowers, 3 different types of clocks. Oh yes. I cannot wait to, let me see, where's the other ones? There's like 20 new ones coming out. This is Find Your True North. Yeah. Arches. Oh, the arches. I got 3 different styles of arches. Where are they? More. This is Roses and Peonies. I love this stencil. Can't wait. This one is Signs and Lanterns. Oh, I cannot wait to create with this one. I'm so excited. I haven't had any time. Cardinals, which I have gotten a ton of requests for cardinals, and then some more fun in the sun with a seashell and some coral, starfish. Perfect for summertime creating. There's a couple more too. I don't have them all right here on my desk. So look for those in the shop. There'll be a link down below in the description box. Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so back to this. So excited. I just love how this turned out. I just positively love it. And the super heavy gesso in the background, yes, please. So this says, let go. Now is your time to fly. And I know I feel like I repeat myself, but sometimes I think we have to. I have to repeat things to myself. You know, I have notes all around my desk with all my good thoughts, with all of the goals and all of the dreams and all of the things that I want to accomplish. I have them posted for me daily so I can see them. I need a reminder, and so I'm going to keep saying it until you guys scream and say enough already. No more encouragement. But it says, let go, now is your time to fly. I'm reading a book right now by Rachel Hollis called Girl Stop Apologizing. And she said something to the effect, I don't think this is word for word, but talking about our dreams and our goals. And she said, if not now, when? And I know timing is everything, but even if your timing isn't perfect, you can still do small things towards your dreams, towards your goals. And we can, and I talk about dreaming all the time, and dreaming is awesome, but we have to make some tangible goals to fly, to get to where we want to go. We have to take one little step, even if it takes us a long time, and even if it's small. One thing we need, you know, do one thing towards where you want to go. And it can be anything. It could be creating, taking the time to create or take a class or a workshop or something like that, learn a new skill, taking a writing course, something in your job, something with parenting or being a grandparent, which I am now. Whatever it is, physical, maybe getting into shape, all those kinds of things. If not now, then when? If you don't take action or one small step today, then when will you do it? And it's like to me, it's like a kick in the head, for a lack of a better term, to me every time I hear that, because it's like, yeah, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting? Why? Because I'm afraid? Of course that's it. Of course that's always the reason why I never take any action, because I'm afraid. And that's why I put in here, let go. Let go of whatever it is, your fear, the voices in your head, somebody not telling you, or somebody telling you that you're not smart enough, or whatever it is, strong enough, whatever it is. Let it go. Let go, and gosh, just kick all that stuff out of your brain. Post all the notes and remind yourself that if not today, then when? When will you take that step to go a little bit further in whatever you're striving for? Because right now is your time to fly. And it might not look like flying to anybody else except you. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. I take my baby steps and no one even notices, but I do. I know. And all it does is give me the courage and the strength and the excitement and the passion to continue moving forward. I could talk on this for days and days and days. All right, my loves, I hope your Sunday is awesome and wonderful and restful. And I hope that today you write down one thing you're going to do to fly, to move forward, to do whatever it is that you want to do today. Because if not today, then when? And I hope today that you always, always know that you are loved.